everybody, I'm here today to show you how to know when to switch gears using the sound of the car or the engine. Now I'll be demonstrating this in an automatic car with an ability to shift in the automatic car, but you can by all means apply this to any car that allows you to shift gears, whether it's a manual car, a car with paddle shifters, or even a car like this that has an automatic shifter that allows you to choose the gear that you're in. All right, now let's get right to it. First and foremost, what I want you to do is just rev the engine a little bit in neutral or park. And in this case, I'm in park because I'm in an automatic car. And before I start, I do want to tell you that one of the first cars that I ever owned did not have a tachometer on the dashboard. So I learned very quickly the methods for shifting gears using not using a tachometer, only using the sound of the engine. So what we have here is a tachometer. It's in park. I'm just going to rev the engine a little bit, just to get a sound for, the actual where it is. Now, if you don't have a tachometer on your dashboard, then you're just gonna rev it just to hear what it sounds like when you push the gas pedal a certain amount. Now, once you've spent a few minutes revving the engine, I'm not gonna do it because I'm right now on a side street, but rev it in an area like an empty parking lot where you're not gonna disturb anybody. Once you spent a few minutes revving the engine in park or neutral, you're gonna actually start to drive. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in drive and manual mode. So you can see I'm in manual mode, first gear. Now, what I want you to do is this. I want you to start accelerating and hold the gas pedal wherever you feel comfortable with that level of acceleration. Meaning, if I want more acceleration, I'm going to hold the gas pedal further down. If I don't want as much, I'm going to hold the gas pedal not so far down. Now, what I want you to do is hold it there, and then when the car does not go any faster in terms of your speed, in terms of your speedometer, I then would like you to shift gears. Okay, and you're gonna get to know the actual revving of the engine, and I'll tell you, when you should be revving higher and when you should be revving lower before you switch gears. All right, let's get right to it. I'm gonna put my signal on. We're gonna make our way down the street over here. So I'm pushing the gas pedal down, holding it here. As you can see, the car's not really accelerating any faster at this point. I'm at about 3,000 RPMs. You can hear the engine. Now I'm gonna shift gears. All right, and this is allowing me to go to a higher speed, just like that. Now I'm gonna shift gears again. All right, now I'm actually gonna downshift because I'm approaching a turn over here, so I'm gonna downshift just like that. Now the key is that if you want to actually, and it automatically brought me down to first gear. If you want to actually be able to get more acceleration, listen to that. So I wanted a little bit more acceleration, so I let the engine rev higher. And that's not to say that just allowing the engine to rev higher without shifting will give you more acceleration, but it allows you to have more acceleration at the place of your gas pedal. And I'll tell you why. When you let the engine rev higher without shifting gears, you're leaving it in a lower gear. When you are in a lower gear, you have more acceleration and torque, more horsepower and torque at your foot, okay? Ready for you to go. Meaning if I was to shift into third and I floor it, well, it's shifted down to second automatically now because it knows that I want acceleration. So that's a key thing to learn right there. If I was in third gear, if you were in third gear and then you wanted acceleration, you should downshift to get even more power. And people don't recommend downshifting to first, but I do it from time to time. But it allows you to get all of this acceleration. So the key is to know how to shift gears using the sound of the engine. You need to understand what your goals are as a driver. I'm actually going to turn around. We're going to go back down the street because it's a nice long street for this video. I'm just making sure that it's safe to do so. All right, if your goal is to get a lot of horsepower and torque, then what you want to do is you want to make sure to shift nice and high, just like that, with the RPMs nice and high. You heard that engine revving up, right? But if your goal is to conserve some gas, maybe you don't want as much horsepower or torque, but you want to try and save some gas, then you're going to shift low. Like right now, there are speed bumps here, but after the speed bump, I'll show you that I'm going to shift at like 2,000 RPMs. So I'm at, 2,000 RPMs, 2,500, and I'm shifting to third because that is what, I don't need the acceleration. I want to save some gas. So the key is this. Here are the steps to simplify it and sum it up. You want to first start by revving the engine in park or neutral. And you want to hear what the engine sounds like to know what the borderlines are, because you don't want to be driving and you think that you're revving low, but in reality, you're revving really, really high. You have to know what your goals are. Like this, if I want acceleration, I shift nice and high, right? If I don't want acceleration, if I just want to drive nice and smoothly, conserve some gas, then guess what? I'm going to shift low, just like this. Just like that. Second gear, third gear, nice and low, saves gas, drives smoothly. I don't need the acceleration, right? That's my goal if I'm shifting at low RPMs. So rev it in neutral or park, hear what it sounds like, and then use that knowledge to guide, along with your driving goals, to guide your shifting, whether you should shift at high RPMs or low RPMs. And that's basically it. In this video, I have shown you and told you how to know when to shift gears using the sound of the engine. It's a very simple process, and I will tell you this. It's going to differ with every car, meaning I'm driving this car and I know the sound of this engine, but if I was driving a car with a lot more power or a total different engine or a diesel engine, then my parameters for shifting would be totally different. Also, it depends on your goals. If your goal is to drive smoothly and save some gas, then you're going to shift really low. If your goal is to get a lot of horsepower and torque and a lot of acceleration, you're going to let the engine rev up and shift. This way you get the most out of the gear, because the lower gear that you're in, the more acceleration. The lower the gear that you're in, the more acceleration that you'll have. If you shift to higher gear, it allows you to get to a higher speed, but it gets rid of some of the acceleration. So first gear would give me the most acceleration, but the lowest speed limit, right? Before I had to shift gears. And you know, the highest gear, let's say sixth gear, would give me the least amount of acceleration, but the highest maximum speed that I could reach within the gear. I hope I explained it clearly enough. I tried to give you some examples and explain it as clearly as I could. Like I said, I did it with an automatic car just to show you that you can use this this knowledge with a manual car, with an automatic car, with a car with paddle shifters, any car that allows you to select the gear that you want to be in. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.